The animation studio that brought you beloved family classics has now introduced a streaming service, Disney+. And now, from the same community that brought you Reactaholics podcast, comes a new show where we discuss Disney+ content old and new. Disney+Pals, starring AJ Heath, Darth Potter, a.k.a. Will Santiago, Scott Meyer, a.k.a. Callum McCritchie, and of course your main host, Dr. Neil+Pals, a.k.a. Neil Michael Burris. Welcome to Disney+Pals.
We are the pals on Disney+. If you like the show, subscribe to us. We'll celebrate it unless we hate it. We're the pals on Disney+. That could have been very bad. That could have been awful. Was it good? What do you think? You're my judge today.
We'll pass that on. We'll get Alan Menken to take some notes down. We'll put that in the pile of
Would Simon Cowell approve?
I mean,
am I going to Hollywood?
If miracles happen, if Simon Cowell's ancestors were New York newspaper delivery guys, then I'm pretty sure you'll fulfill your dreams. Oh no, I'm the New York accent.
Which they certainly were. Simon Cowell, 100% descended from New Yorkians.
We'll convince him of that. Well, maybe...
Oh man, I'm only just now realizing we should have got Ron in this episode.
Oh
Ron is from New York.
Oh no! Do you think we should get him in? Do you think we should invite him in?
No. It's too late.
It's not too late.
Maybe send him an okay. Message him and say, hey, we're making fun of New York. Want to pop in a video for like 2 minutes at the end. Okay. And if he says yes, we'll pop him in at the end.
Oh my. Hi, Ron. Me and Neil are talking about...
I'll just continue with the show. Don't cut any of this. I'll just continue with the show.
Hello,
everybody. Welcome to Disney+ Pals. A little shorter today. Might be filming 2 episodes today. We'll have to see. I am Dr. Neil+Pals, a poor boy living on a billboard. What was it he was living on? He called it his penthouse. My penthouse looking over the cities of New York, I tell you.
Dreaming of Santa Fe.
Dreaming of Santa Fe with my best mate, Callum McCritchie. How you doing, Callum?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I mean, I injured my leg the other day because I got in the fight, and a police guy, he arrested me. That's the word I was looking for.
And beat you with your own crutch. That scene, it was so, now I've gone Jewish. Oh no, he beat you with your crutch. It was police brutality.
Yeah, now I got a crutch on him, if you know what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. What the hell are we doing?
The musicals has infected us. It's one of those...
Look, guys, I challenge you, watch the musical Newsies and do not smile. You can't do it.
And do not pick up on their extra thick New York accents.
Hey, say what you want. I was into it. I was going with it. I loved it. Jeremy Jordan, man. Jeremy Jordan, great actor. He's the guy who plays...
the main character.
Now I'm forgetting his character's name, Jack.
The guy with the accent. The blue shirt.
They've all got accents. They've all got blue shirts.
No, he's
that one guy who had a red shirt to show he was from Brooklyn.
My shirt's bluer than yours could ever be.
This is going to be all the jokes today, guys, so just get used to it. If you haven't figured it out, we be talking about Newsies.
The Broadway version.
Specifically, the Broadway play. And, this is, we were just sort of like, oh, we need to do something in between episodes. We knew it was just going to be me and Cal. We were like, oh, let's do something smaller. Let's do something there isn't like a huge fan base for. We found a gem, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, this apparently
Newsies, very good.
Yeah, apparently you've been a fan of this one. You've been planning on doing this one for some time, and despite this not being,
really.
I mean, you suggested it, and this has a
I
cult.
suggested it. It was like I had a list, and I was like, "Oh, here's the Broadway musical. Let's do this."
Yeah.
Of course, I suggested it on the Broadway boy.
Yeah, you traveled to
Go ahead,
Broadway. You chose the closest thing you get that's on Disney's Netflix service now.
Hey, all right. Hey,
Hey.
I don't even know what this voice is. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, we watched Newsies, and boy, everything's a little disjointed today. That Newsies changed me, man.
Yeah, it's infected me with.
It's so charming. But first, oh, go on, please, sir. Tell us about your Newsy infection.
So it all started out when my big buddy and Neil invited me to watch Newsies. Basically, this Broadway musical is based on this 1992 film, which featured Christian Bale back in his younger days when he was also in
Batman.
He was also in Pocahontas. Fun fact. Yes.
I didn't actually know that.
Yeah, there you go. He was with a young soldier boy alongside Billy Connolly. So the story of Newsies. It's basically these newspaper selling boys going out on a strike after the prices go up for selling newspapers. That's it, the short version.
It's also based on real world events.
Yes.
Like this happened. People were in the streets singing and dancing with their papers on their feet.
Yep. And people...
It was a whole thing.
Little education, yet they could tap dance. It was a struggling time.
They could tap dance even though we're supposed to be poor, and I support it. You know what? We need a charity to get the poor people, the people who are less fortunate than us, to learn how to tap dance.
Yeah.
We'll call it Tap for Scraps.
Who needs food and drink when you can tap dance for it?
Well, that's how they get the food and drink. We teach them to tap dance, and then they go to Broadway, and they become Broadway dancers. That's how we do. We just take the homeless population and
Wait
teach
a
them
minute!
to dance.
I just thought of something. Why couldn't they take their dancing to the local theater? That's a thing that's in this story.
They kind of did. Okay, it's Broadway rules, We don't acknowledge that they're dancing a second. No one gets it.
Well, we acknowledge that this is a theatrical production, and you gotta limit your expectations. Just let your imagination fill in the blanks. That is the magic of theater, and this Broadway version theater, oddly enough, was based on the film, which many people said, this film's a bit distracting. It should be on Broadway. Wish granted, it's on Broadway now.
And also, much like what's going to happen with Hamilton, this is a filmed version of the stage production. And Hamilton's going to be on Disney+ too, and of course we're going to do an episode on that as Hamilton. But
of course,
for now, we got Newsies. And Callum, what is your introduction to the story of Newsies?
You told me to watch it.
So 2 weeks in a row now, the answer to the question, what does this mean to you, is Neil told me to do it. He made me.
Just like the men with telling the boys to sell the newspapers. They made us do it.
So you knew nothing about Newsies before seeing it?
Not much. Maybe a brief mention here or there, but I saw this abstract musical and I thought, oh, Newsies. Oh, made that long ago. Oh, this is a Disney production? Oh, okay. And then you mentioned that there was a Broadway version. Oh, this is popular enough to get a Broadway musical. And seeing the film, I'm surprised they didn't make a film adaptation of the Broadway version, because this suits being a Broadway musical so much.
Well, maybe that's why. Maybe because it fit being a Broadway musical so much, why make a movie?
Alright, have you seen the original film? Because I haven't.
I have not.
Alright, because I've heard it was a common critique that despite the great aesthetics and the effort gone into the dancing and everything, it was a bit disjointed because it didn't feel much like a film, they said. But I think that has been fixed by the mere idea of making it a Broadway adaptation, yes.
Yeah, this is one of the most Broadway things I've seen in a while. So you don't really have a lot of history with this, but so let's go a little more present tense then. What were your feelings going in? Don't review the movie, but just as it first started and stuff, how were you feeling? Like when it opens on Crutchy and friggin' Jack is his name on the balcony. How were you feeling about that?
I mean, I knew this was gonna be a fun musical in some way, but those New York accents, oh man, I knew I was in for a good time ever since.
You weren't ready. You weren't ready.
No.
How could you be? How could you be?
How could you be ready with such fun New York accents? They're really thick.
I don't know, man. I'm scared to do more accents, Callum. I've done so many already. None of them being a New York accent.
You're technically.
I'm scared.
You're gonna hear a wide variety. You're gonna hear typical American, Scottish, and lots of strong New York accents. Yes.
Top of the morning to you. Welcome to Brooklyn.
I'm surprised there weren't more Irish people being represented here.
My name is Jack O'Malley.
I mean, that is true. Irish people did
Accents.
that.
The Broadway movie.
We've just thought of a new sequel, boys. Get it on the papers.
It's been a hard life. My interaction.
Your interaction.
Newsies is actually kind of weird. Yeah, you know, my history. My experience, if you will.
We're never gonna take this seriously.
Another voice for the pot. I think I discovered it in one of the more normal ways. I saw a trailer for it on Disney, and you can't pitch this to kids.
No, the material they use.
Well, there is a price increase on buying newspapers, so the kids go on strike and make a union. Yeah, but when do they shoot stuff with guns and ride dragons? They don't. What do you mean they don't? They don't. The music is good for kids. Like, the music will catch people and the dancing will catch people. But you try to pitch this story to a child, they'll be like, what?
Oh, yes. Kids, you're going to love this adventure. It's about the economic crisis in New York long ago in the early 20th century.
And then, big hero moment, Theodore Roosevelt shows up. Everybody's hero.
I think kids know who Theodore Roosevelt is, right?
Kids care about Spider-Man, Darth Vader, and like friggin'... Okay, let me be more specific. Me as a kid cared more about Spider-Man, Darth Vader, and like Scooby-Doo and shit.
Bully!
I didn't care about Theodore Roosevelt. Although he is very much a highlight in this play.
Yes. Yeah, that he is.
But yeah, so it just sort of chilled there in the back of my mind, never really acknowledged it. When I had my own apartment for a little bit, I had some friends over, and we watched some mystery movies. You know, we essentially just spent some time with each other.
Right.
And then we were like, okay, we're all bored. We're all into musicals. Let's find a musical. And I was going to play Shrek the Musical because it was on Netflix at the time. Don't worry, Nana, I'm fine. It was on Netflix at the time.
Right.
And while I was searching,
right.
Newsies popped up.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I haven't seen Newsies. It's a Broadway thing. Let's watch it. And I just didn't pay attention. We all were just talking the whole time. We were making fun of the accents. I in the back of I did finish it. Everybody left halfway through it, and I decided to finish it. And I liked it, but I didn't really like take it in. Like I didn't accept it. And then today I sat down and I was like, okay, we're going to do an episode on this. Let's go for it. And I rewatched it with a critical mind and as a big Broadway fan. And this was very, the word that first comes to mind more than any other word when I think of this play is style. There is so much of its own original style that we don't see in other things here.
Not even West Side Story?
Hey, I didn't say it's better than that. I just said it has a theme, and that is like old-timey newspaper boys. And it goes with...
I'm expecting the Newsies to be rivals with the Jets and Sharks now.
Look.
And they're
Okay,
all gonna
Bring it
sing.
down for you this.
The accents.
They had it coming. They had it coming. They raised our newspaper tax today. Oh, also they refer to newspapers as papes, which I adore, but we'll get into that. So what it is like, it's just the theming. There's so much theming. Like, even the lines, you're like, oh, they're talking about like the press and stuff, but also they're talking about what they're going through.
Yes.
Like, I wrote down so many lines from the songs. I don't even know if I'll read all the lines, but they went with this theme of, yeah, this is the time of the news, and they ran with it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's a good show. I think this is not a Disney+. This is a Disney must. You got to see this.
Oh, you're making that argument. Nice.
A Disney must or a Disney, I don't know, lost?
This could be our new ranking system.
Yeah. It could be Disney. It could be Disney must. Disney, I guess you should probably see it. Disney, it was okay, I guess. Disney, oh no, get out of here.
So
Disney, no, run.
So
And Disney lost.
With those conditions, Peter Pan is a Disney must. Haunted Mansion was a Disney lost. What is Newsies? Let's talk
Well,
about
Haunted Mansion, the movie, was a Disney, I would say, like, I wouldn't even say it's a Disney loss. If anything, it's a Disney waste of potential. You know what? We'll just come up with a new one at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
Plus, we'll just make up a new one, like a Disney must.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that Newsies is a must. You should see this. If you're a Broadway guy, or if you just like Disney, watch this.
Really? Would you care to explain why Newsies is such a must then, eh?
Well, I think we got to do that by going through the story with these fine people. So the story opens, and just real quick disclaimer, we're not going to go through all of the songs. We'll go through some of them. If we go through every one, we'll be here all day.
Indeed.
I wrote opinions of the songs. I will acknowledge there's a song here. I'm not going through all of them.
Right. So the audience
we open.
Audience applauds. The set design is very clever. It's very basic. Stairs. As
It's a bunch of
stairs and railings. Scaffoldings. That's it. That's the word I was looking for. It's scaffolding, and they
very New York. The more and more I think about it.
Yeah, and they would move it about according to the scene, and sometimes they pull down these curtains and other things to suit the scene. It's very basic yet very clever. That's something I love about theaters. You can do so much with so little. But anyway, we're introduced to our main character and his best friend with the crutch.
Yeah. We got Jack Kelly, I think is his name, and we got Crutchy. Jack Kelly is played by the incredible Jeremy Jordan. And folks, if you haven't heard the name Jeremy Jordan, let me tell you, you've probably heard Jeremy Jordan. He is in a lot of stuff.
Do tell, he looked familiar.
He is in Supergirl.
All right.
He is in the Rapunzel TV series.
Oh, is he?
Yes, he actually plays that one character who became like a fan favorite. I can't remember his name, but he sang the song "I Will Make You Proud."
Oh, right. I mean, some other people have gotten the attention. Recently, Brian Hull, a YouTube voice actor, has managed to get in the show as well. Congratulations to him. Okay, carry on.
Brian Hull is in Rapunzel?
Yeah, he plays the young ginger criminal twins. I've forgotten their names.
Oh.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Younger. So congratulations to him. So what else was Jeremy Johnson in? I've forgotten his name too.
Johnson? I just said it. Jordan.
Jeremy.
I'm gonna check his name. I'm gonna check his name just to be safe. I wrote it down.
Right.
Let me just get up my notes.
I have a short-term memory loss.
Callum is affecting me with his memory problems. This is a voice. Jeremy Jordan, that is his name.
Rapunzel the series, Supergirl, and
Well, of course, he's here in Newsies, but he also has done like a lot of performances. Like on YouTube, he has a big string of like songs He's done.
oh,
He's even done this medley of Disney things,
oh,
and he like starts with, you know, the classic Disney songs like, "I Can Go the Distance" and "Part of Your World," but he always ends on Santa Fe because that's his song.
Wait, he sings every Disney song and then sings about Santa Fe.
No, it's a medley. It's a medley. Are you, Callum? Did you watch the play?
I did, but I thought you were talking.
Santa Fe is the main song. It's his song. It's his character's song.
Sorry, I thought you were still talking about his YouTube career, and he literally sings Santa
No, he doesn't really have a YouTube career. He's performing on stage.
We're getting mixed up. Okay, yeah, so he's singing about Santa Fe, wanting to be there to get away from the streets of New York, and his crutch buddy, who almost falls off the ladder, is with him every step of the way. And then we get the...
Did we ever learn Crutchy's real name? Because they just call him Crutchy, and that's a little insensitive, but I'm comfortable with it.
I mean, that's like calling someone with dwarfism Shorty or something like that.
Although that happens.
Yeah, that happens.
I mean, that's like calling me an idiot dummy, and I'm okay with it.
And that's like calling me a dunderhead, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, see, we're familiar with this. we have become accustomed to these nicknames.
Yeah.
But yeah, he sings the song Santa Fe, which immediately, like, this song, this is how you get your characters. Like, this is how you get the audience to root for him.
Okay.
Like,
no-
I remember just sitting there being like, yeah, I want these boys to go to Santa Fe, even though they probably have no idea what it's actually like.
Yeah, absolutely great. Hold on. Note to self: for character development, make them preach Santa Fe, and audiences will latch onto them.
No. It isn't the. Okay, I'll break it down a little more. It isn't just because he's talking about going to Santa Fe. It's because he's talking about his dream. He's like, this is where we can be happy.
Yeah. In all seriousness,
We should do, and I'm gonna go do it. Crutchy, you should come with me. We're family.
we're brothers. Yes.
It's very like immediately. I'm like, okay, I'm with this character. I'm with these two.
Yeah.
Although it also made me realize something bad's gonna happen to Crutchy. Like immediately, it's like, oh, we're gonna go together, Crutchy. You and me, we're gonna do it. I thought he was gonna die.
I mean, it's not
I
as if
thought something bad was gonna happen.
it's not as if they said, "What could possibly go wrong?"
Oh no, they do that later. In fact, the very next song is singing "It's a Fine Life." Like, just like, oh, our lives are so good. We're doing exactly what we want to do. Nothing will go wrong. This is where we meet Cigar Kid.
Yeah.
I never got his character's name. He's just got a cigar.
Right.
He's the main singer and king of New York.
Yes.
He does flips. He does tricks. I loved him. His voice was a little higher than everyone else's, so I remembered him.
Yes.
And they go down to talk to, like, Weasel. They call him Weasel. I think his name is actually, like, Weasel.
Wesselton.
They talked...
Wesselton. Wesselton.
I am the Duke of... Wait, no, I'm not. I'm a paper man.
Washington.
This isn't Frozen.
That's another musical.
Where's Olaf? That is another musical. This is our first musical on the show. So once again, this is going to be a learning curve.
Not Peter Pan?
Peter Pan had one song.
Wait, hold on.
Maybe two.
You can fly, following the leader. What makes the red man red?
What makes the Native American man think about Native American things?
Yeah,
That's the song.
that one. And the pirate song at the end. And this, is a Broadway musical where the music is used as part of the storytelling, and as you said, it's the typical good life, good morning routine. Everyone's getting up and energetic, and wow, this dancing is so alive. I love it.
Oh yeah. I remember Callum just sending a message into our group chat saying, and I quote, "Wow, these boys have energy."
Yeah.
They are flipping, they're dancing, they got to do this show like 8 times a week. And here they are, giving it their all.
It's their exercise routine, and what better way to spend it in that way?
They did know they were filming, so maybe that's why.
Gotta give it your all. I mean, in Broadway musicals, you have to give it your all anyway. You gotta project, you gotta act big, you gotta emphasize the accents.
And that they did. But yeah, so Pulitzer, who is the villain of this fine piece,
with another fine
he
waistcoat.
decides, we're not making money because we're talking about a trolley strike. You know what we should do? We should just what the newspaper is. Doesn't sound like a big deal. It's just a dime.
Right.
However, back then, money was harder to get. And also, these poor boys, they were taking a big loss. Like, they had to sell, like, I want to believe, like, was it something like 20 or like 40?
I think it went from about...
back.
I think it went from 50 cents or so to 60. So they're going to have to pay more in order to sell more. That was the idea. They're saying, we'll discipline
it's 60. It's 60 a paper, I believe.
Yeah, that's the price they raised it to because they've got to have money.
Yeah, and Pulitzer is like, obvious villain is obvious. He's just like, oh, well, I'll teach them a lesson and self-reliance or whatever. And I'm just sitting there like, your villain song is kind of lame. The song was just sort of soft. Like, when I think villain songs, I think like,
fire, dark fire.
And the whole, yes, my teeth and ambitions are bare, be prepared. And here it was like, there's a thing and I have a business. The world is a business and I am a business.
Business
and I'm
as
just sitting there
always.
like, okay, I get that you're a jerk, but a villain needs to twirl that mustache of yours and say, I'm going to make you pay an extra dime. But, to be fair, that doesn't sound like a threatening thing.
But Neil, you gotta understand, we're going for a more realistic setting. We're going for something more historically accurate to New York Times.
Yeah. It was totally realistic where they were mad at a guy, so they grabbed him, locked him in a basement where he found the weapon for their eventual doom. So realistic.
Yeah. Yes.
I was all about that. And the reveal where his daughter was secretly with them the whole time. So realistic. So real.
Dun, dun, dun. Who'd have thought that the
If I had a nickel. I had a nickel every time I was trying to take down a weird businessman, and then it turns out my girlfriend's his daughter. Happens every Tuesday.
Yeah, we can relate, Peter Parker. We can relate. Peter Parker's also a newsy person in a sense with his photography.
He's from Brooklyn.
Yeah, he's from Brooklyn also.
But back into the plot. So we figure out this plan, and the Newsies go to get the papers. There's a new kid. His name is David. He brought his little brother. Jack is teaching him the rope.
Uh-huh.
And
oh no, we lost him. We lost him again. This boy.
Take him to this place. God, I keep getting lost.
Lost into the void.
Yeah, what happens is this guy named the Spider. He tries to arrest Jack. He wants to take him to, like, they call it kid jail.
Kid jail.
And it's a bad place. Like I keep making it clear this is a bad place. And Jack's apparently been there a few times.
In the past, yes.
So they seek shelter in, I think it's like a burlesque club.
Theater.
I think they say burlesque.
With the rich guy who, his folk, or family, which is how they refer to the family, just the folk, and the rich kid brings along his little kid with him, who is really a fun highlight of this whole show. And, you know, this kid actor is really impressive. He's doing this constantly on the Broadway show, so gotta applaud him.
I wrote this down. I wrote, the kid is struggling, but I still like him. Like, he's struggling, but he's still got charm to him. So I was like, okay, I'll give this child acting a pass.
I mean, it is a
he's
Broadway
not great
show.
in the movie. I'm not going to leave the movie going, oh, this kid, he made the whole thing better. But he's good. He's fine. He tried. He did a good job.
I mean, this is a Broadway show, so his big acting is warmly welcomed. Yes.
So they hide out in this burlesque club. This is where we meet like Missy, because her last name, like, I can't say it with my speech impediment. It's like Battle Doll. I can't say it.
I can't remember either. She's a lady. Whoa, whoa, whoa! She's a lady.
But she's cool. She's a cool lady.
Yeah,
she's a cool lady. Miss M lets them stay there. That way they're safe. And then Jack sees this lady.
Oh, whoa,
she's
whoa,
a redhead
whoa!
looking Mary Jane lady.
Yeah. Sorry, Peter.
The character's name is Catherine, although in my notes I constantly referred to her as the Mary Jane looking girl. Because Mary Jane's a reporter.
Oh my, she must be Mary Jane's ancestor.
Yes. And good old Jack, he's Peter Parker's great-great-grandfather. That's the twist. It's a prequel. Wait a minute. If this is what the Aunt May movie would have been, if it was just like...
Wait a minute. If Jack is Peter Parker's grandfather who married Catherine, who is Mary Jane's ancestor, doesn't that make Peter?
You're looking too far into this. You're looking too distant. I just want Jack to go, yo, did you hear about Captain America getting frozen in the ice?
Oh, now that would be something.
It's a prequel. It's all a prequel.
Yeah, just next.
Pulitzer is going to be the next Marvel bad guy.
Just expecting the nuns to adopt a baby Nightcrawler or something.
I would love that.
Yeah, I love the nuns here too.
And then the play becomes about Kurt Wagner and the Nightcrawler.
Yeah,
I love it.
So the theater lady is performing. She's having a good time. Jack, as we mentioned, climbs up the seats, and she comes across Daphne. And at first I was thinking, yeah, love at first sight. That's a cliche that I hate, and it's not realistic. But then again, I might meet someone at love at first sight. I don't know. All I know for certain is that love at first sight is not up my street with these films. But to their credit, even Jack himself acknowledges this during his song.
He does. I also like that while it's love at first sight for Jack, it's not love at first sight for Catherine.
Yeah.
She has to fall for him.
Mm-hmm.
He has to earn that.
Yes, that's
and I like it.
Like we said, more realistic. You gotta earn your way to relationships, not just go Google eyes at each other and then bang. You just
hey, Crutchy, you don't need to earn your way at all. All you gotta do is draw a lady and they're putty in your hands. That is what happens. He draws her, and she's just like, oh, he drew me. Love. To be fair, I like being drawn.
Yeah, I like being drawn as well. I draw myself all the time. You could say that they were drawn together.
Well, Davy and his brother go home. The night ends. They actually invite Jack to dinner. Jack says no. He goes back to his penthouse, which isn't a penthouse. It's literally just scaffolding.
Yeah,
And-
we had such a low budget. We just had to literally live off the scaffolding. We don't even live in the building half the time. We just stare and dream of Santa Fe up in the rooftops.
How does Crutchy get up there every day? That's not fair to him.
He struggles.
Jack just Yodas him up on his back. Just like, don't worry, Jack, I got you.
Use the Force. Remember, Luke, the Force is always going to be at your back.
Hey, Jack, when you're up there talking to them pipes, you just electrocute them with your force lightning. We're trying to make this connected to the bigger Disney universe. We're like, Captain America's frozen. I got lightning hands. We're just doing too much.
Oh man, we can just be such fanfics sometimes.
But they wake up, and then they realize the paper cost an extra dime. And Jack thinks it's a joke. So he just walks up and he's like, hey, I'll get the normal amount of papers I always get. And the guy's like, nope, cost 60 cents. And he's like, I'll kill you. But then Jack calms down a little and they organize a strike. And then David's like, hey, you can't organize a strike. Come on. You need a...
You need a reporter.
strike. That'd be one of my favorite scenes.
Dude,
Where it's like, hey, you need officials. And then Crutchy just goes, I nominate Jack. And Jack's like, hey, I accept. And then it's like, anybody got a pencil? The little kid's like, I've got a pencil. And then Jack goes, and there's our Secretary of State. I just love how he's kind of treating it like a game when really it's becoming this really big thing.
Yeah, that's the
It
way
just
you
goes to the character. I love it.
just living life as a game. Just gotta admire that about Jackie boy. Yes.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to bring something up. Okay, let's go back for a second because I'm certainly going to do art of this.
Okay.
In the intro
Yeah.
to the Newsies,
Mm-hmm.
they play a little bit of music and they show the Newsies logo. And then they show a newspaper. Like they close in on this building and then slowly it pans up and it reveals a newspaper. And this newspaper is covered in headlines. Callum, did you read any of those headlines?
I can't say that I did. I'll need to watch it again to read them.
I read, and that screen pops up several times during the play. And I read these like front lines and I wrote them down because I was like, holy crap, Disney! There's some dark stuff in this.
Whoa.
The first one is like, 2 people found dead.
Okay.
Then sister confirmed killer. Lead attack on gays.
What?
And it's all there, and you can read it. It's there. You can see it.
Wait, what?
So, and the weirdest part is those are the biggest letters.
Wait,
Now,
what?
I assume they pulled from actual articles.
Yes, that would make sense.
But they're there. And it wasn't actually lead attack on gays, but it was something along the lines of like, here, I got it written down here. When you see the Newsies logo and it goes closer to the building, it turns into a newspaper. I saw one that says nurse kills and another one about killing 2 people being found and one about people attacking gays. And you can see them. They're just there. They're never touched upon. They're never mentioned, but they're always there. And it was so weird.
This is the new naked lady in the background from Rescuers, isn't it? It's the new naked lady.
Yes, but the thing is where it's like, oh, is the naked lady a myth? Is the naked lady a real thing? This is real. I saw it. I wrote it down. And to be fair, like, they're obviously, like, using actual headlines.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those are the ones you make real big. There was one that was like, woman finds dog or something. And that one was real small. Stuff about jobs were small, and then it's like, murder, hate attacks, 2 found dead.
Hellfire!
Dog fire.
Newspapers with hate speech.
It was weird. It was weird.
Yeah, something else that was weird, but making sense for the child character. The child character looks amazed at the evocative ladies at the theater. That concerns me.
Well, to be fair, he's just like, I can see your legs. That's not too bad. I see people's legs when I go swimming.
Yeah.
I see legs when I look in the mirror. We all got legs.
Yeah.
Get over it, kid.
Yeah. Just take advice from Captain Jack Sparrow in the 5th installment of Pirates of the Caribbean.
So they organized the strike. There's a song about it where they're hyping each other up.
Do you hear the people singing the song of... Oh, wait, sorry, wrong musical.
Yeah. That is totally what happens. Do you sell newspapers here? Well, sadly, you have to stop. They have added a dime to the price, and now it's gonna pop. We will be a revolution, and we will, despite our weird convolution.
Yeah.
I guess it rhymes. We will stop the business people from making dough. Well,